Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Grapsody, and I am Will Washington. What is Grapsody? You're about to find out.
Yo. It's Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, got to fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to us talk raps. You're listening to us talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Welcome. This is officially year 4. I'm Phil Lindsey. This is Grapsody. I think I said that already, right? I probably didn't, but you know what it is. It is I. It is him. This is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. Righteous Reg is right next to me, like he has been for 4 of them things. What's going on with you?
It's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster, media man, Righteous Reg. I've said that so many times over the last 4 years, and it feels amazing. Been here with my friend for so many Saturday mornings. We are here, of course, on a Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? What? I don't know.
It's Thursday. Oh my God.
I don't know what days it is. We're here on a Thursday for our 4-year anniversary, Phil. And every time you say that out loud, I can't believe it. 4 years? What do you mean? Like, what's time?
I don't know, man. 4 of them things. When I was putting this intro together, if people don't know, the beginning of that is our very first episode. Mm-hmm. And every time I watch like bits from that first episode, I'm just like, that seems like it was like 100 years ago. I was not sitting in this corner of the room. I was sitting over there. You could see like the cables coming down from the ceiling. Yeah. Different times. Different times.
I was in a different apartment, different life, different backdrop. I'm in a new place that I've been in for multiple years now. We were babies back then. We always talk about the story of how kind of quickly it all came together. And that's what like most of the podcasts has felt like, is it's just like, you ready to do this? All right, let's do this. Because I feel like even now, like with a lot of our interviews and things, are just like, hey, are you available on Thursday? And I'm like, yep. And then we do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a lot of like, we don't need a lot of prep, man. We just like say something and go for it.
Yeah. A lot has happened in 4 years. My personal life, a lot of things going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we're still rocking with you guys. Appreciate everybody that is still here supporting us. It's been quite a ride. I didn't really have a plan for this. It was just kind of like, hey, our anniversary is Thursday. Mm-hmm. We usually do Ask Grapsody. Let's just do a stream. We've never done a stream on our channel. Might as well just do a stream and answer some questions. If people have questions, talk about our podcast experience so far. It has been almost... No, I'm sorry. I was about to say it's been almost 2 years. It has been over 2 years.
Yeah.
Since we started doing this thing as a duo, which is a totally different experience in itself. Because Will left, that was May 2023.
It's been that long?
Yeah. I think it was May 2023.
Oh, yeah, because it was around Double or Nothing time, I remember. That makes a lot of sense. I remember we did that pod in Vegas, and he was not a part of our podcast anymore at that point.
Yeah, he that was the Nuggets were in the hunt for their first championship. Yeah, a lot has changed.
Will Washington used to be on this podcast. Shout out to the homie. We all know the story of him kind of bringing us together and bringing this to this. And now look at where he's been, where we started, that Will Washington, and where he is now. Wow, what a life.
Yeah, what a different time. Yeah, somebody sent a clip under your tweet the other day, and I was looking at it and I was like, the shirt he's wearing, just like the energy in that clip is so different, man.
that was Grapsody, Phil. I mean, because like I said, it happened so quickly. I only did one podcast with Will Washington prior to us doing Grapsody, so I didn't really know what the vibes are going to be. We hadn't did a podcast together, the three of us, at all. We kind of went in there just like blind, and that's what came out of it.
Yeah. I someday I'll learn how to actually podcast. I don't know. The first few years, it was like, hey, we would show up. Will would kind of lead the ship. He would do a lot of talking, and it was like double Dutch action. You get in where you can fit in.
Yeah,
and that was it. It's kind of different when it's just the two of us, because it's like, well, wait a minute, he's not gonna lead the conversation, and people were immediately worried because they were like, well, wait a minute, he's not here to rein these two goofballs in. They're not gonna they're not gonna have anybody to stop them from going overboard. Like, nobody's here to stop them from like doing a running gag from an eczema commercial. Nobody's here to stop these guys for arguing for about an hour about rap. How will this work?
Rap discussions, all of this. Nobody's gonna stop us from. I feel like I was thinking about when I tweeted that. What's your favorite Grapsody moment? I was like, I feel like Phil and I's thing became about, because when there's a couple of Will clips that immediately come to mind, and the podcast was much different when Will was on. Ours was much about consistency and like establishing bits, almost like, I think a Credit Boy that comes to mind. Like a lot of my favorite Phil and Reg bits are just Triple H bits, I think, is what I came up with. I'm like, oh yeah, remember when I asked them if are they going to induct Triple H in different forms of Triple H? I was like, it's a great bit.
Yeah, people seem to think that's very funny. You can, because I can look at like on our clips and stuff, like I can look at like what are like the spikes in certain clips, and that specific clip that part is replayed multiple times. I could see. Yeah.
Who's up in here? Appreciate y'all coming through to support us on a random Thursday. I saw something in the chat that was like, what happened? I think it was King of the North said something about my car up in here. Damn, there's already been a lot of. Oh yeah, King of the North said, did Reg's car explode before or after the debut of Grapsody? That was during Grapsody, actually, because I remember the damn thing's not coming up. Yeah. That was that was during Grapsody, because I remember coming on the pod and having a very emotional time because shit was crazy at the time. But a part of the reason that I was able to get a new car was because of Grapsody and the supporters and the people that kind of were here along for the ride. That was pretty early. That was a couple of years ago, but yeah, that was still definitely during Grapsody time. And that showed me that how much Grapsody, me being on the pod, how much it meant to me and how much it means to people. Like that changed a lot for me. Like that was a horrible, I was just telling somebody this story. That was a horrible, awful few hours when I first discovered my car, and I was like, oh shit, my car is blown up. But like the support that everybody gave me immediately like made it like not worth it, but it made it like I don't look back on that and be like, oh, that's so sad what happened to my car. I look back and be like, damn, that's so cool how people were.
Yeah. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
It's for a second it sounded like you would mute. But yeah, no, that was man. that was so out of nowhere. Like, I remember you told us, I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? How did this happen? But yeah, that was just so great. Like the amount of people that like showed support and showed love. In internet fashion, people tried to show their ass as well, but
still, I'll still get a random tweet that's like, "Whatever happened to Reg's car?" And I'm like, "I'm driving it. I showed it to you guys. Like, I didn't steal your money and run off and have a vacation. I like bought a car with it, and I use it every day."
He thought you was gonna jump back in the burnt up one and have like the cartoonish dollars like flying out the window. Ha ha ha! I got your money. No,
I got one of those bags with the dollar sign on the side of it. I really got away from these guys.
Yeah, nah. There was no scam. Sorry guys, no conspiracy theories, man. Who the fuck would make up something like that? I don't know.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know why I would go that far just to like make money off of people who I know don't have it to do that. That's crazy. That doesn't even make sense. But I guess there are people that do that. Like, I'm not one of those. That's all I want to say.
No. Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know that I've ever talked about this on this podcast. When Will Washington left this show, I was the only one that got really emotional here. And I think a lot of people at the time were like, this is like weird because I'm not the emotional one out of us. And at the time, it just was such a different time in my life. I don't think people understood. Because I didn't come on here and talk about personal stuff.
Right.
Often. But like not even the first year, the entirety of like 2 or 3 years of doing this podcast, I was doing, caretaking for my grandmother. And so it was like, that was such a big part of my life. And then, the constant thing that I had was doing this podcast. And it was just like, it was changing. And it was changing out of nowhere. And it was just like one of those things that was like, oh man, like I had like made like real friends and like we just came on here and just goofed off and like talked about wrestling, and it's just like other stuff going on was just like lifing. And so it was just like, it's hard, man. And I still remain very happy for my friend.
Definitely.
What a great accomplishment for him. What we managed to do in our first 2 years of doing this podcast. Like I still have like a lot of pride in that, but at the same time, like what he's managed to do over there is just like awesome to see that from afar. It's just like awesome. But yeah, it's like I think all the time about like 2022 and like the amount of stuff we managed to do in that year, like getting to interview Jade in January and like all the stuff we did that year, the Tony Khan interview we did that year. Like we were outside in 2022, man. I don't know if anybody was outside like we were in 2022.
There was a bunch of moments where I'd be like, damn, how did we get up in here? Like we'd be like, I'd be like standing in the back and we'd be in some random ass place. And I'd be like, what? Like, how did we, or we'd be interviewing some crazy wrestler. And I'd be like, wait, how did we? And I'm just like having a good time with my friends and it doesn't feel like work and it doesn't feel like that. And then when we did the live show at StarCast, just that whole weekend of just kind of knowing we're going to have a show that the three of us are going to like, I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't know what the plan was. And then just walking around and people being like, you guys got a show, and like talking about it and people talking about coming and being like, what is this?
Yeah. Wild. I mean, even that weekend, that was like the week of that my grandma passed away. And like I did the live show and then like it was a bunch of stuff around it that was like very surreal, but then also like it's wild. Just a lot of stuff happening at once.
And it was in Chicago. We were in Chicago, right?
That was all out weekend. That was also week of all of the punk stuff.
Shenanigans.
a lot of stuff happening at the same time.
Oh yeah, because you were showing me around like downtown Chicago when that letter or whatever came out, and we were like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Seeing the video that you compiled before this and all the times we've gotten to do live shows or we've came together, that's been one amazing bit of this podcast. Is like we were friends before and we like established a relationship, but this thing is like turned into something different. Denise and I did a pod earlier in her Patreon and we were talking about Wale Mania, and I thought about that first Wale Mania, the first time we ever were in a building together, the three of us, and me being stuck outside with Chris Masters and how
and West Side Gun.
and West Side Gun, and just how traumatic the experience felt. Cam comes out. There's like 8 women around Cam. I'm like, what?
Cam had like a checkboard for some reason.
Yeah,
like
he had a board in hand with a pen. I'm like, what is Cam doing?
Yeah.
Courtney's out here like a security guard. I'm like, this is
bro.
There's Courtney, a lot going on right now.
Courtney that weekend was fucking hilarious, bro. Like I remember that morning because didn't you like stay with him? So you had left your bag with him, and so he came to drop the bag off. And so I remember I came out that morning and I was just like standing on a corner, like on my phone. And I think I was going to go get coffee. And so I just see like Courtney like in the parking lot, like, hey, Phil over here. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, just like
hey Phil over here. But then getting up there, finally getting in, Cam's finagled finesse, and then seeing y'all two guys up there and being like, damn, this is like, these are my guys. Like, I love these guys. And then the shenanigans that kind of ensued in that pod and meeting all these crazy people and just being like, damn, this is what having internet friends can turn to real friends. Having a podcast with some fools that you just had an internet relationship with can turn into like real things. And it just felt like, damn, this is cool, man, because I was also talking with another person about like in your old age, you don't really like meet a lot of friends, like real friends as you get older. So to like have that and it to be connected to wrestling is like something I couldn't imagine, honestly.
Yeah. Is that the weekend? That was Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the weekend where Will left and we did that podcast from the hotel where the both of us were on the same side of the screen and he was at home.
I was about to say, wasn't every weekend the weekend that Will left and then we still did something afterwards? Didn't Andrew come to meet us later at that same time too? But like our Wi-Fi was like horrible or something.
Yeah, I remember Drew was there and Drew went to WrestleMania because neither one of us went to WrestleMania. And so he was going all the way from Arlington or wherever we were, because we weren't in Dallas. Like he was going from there to Dallas to go to AT&T Stadium. And yeah, but I remember we did that episode and it's like the two of us on one side of the screen and Will is on the other side, and we're just like being us and he's just like at home. It's so funny because it's just so perfect description of what our podcast is. Just the two of us on one side of the screen goofing off, and he's like trying to hold conversation. And then we were on like I don't even think we were on hotel Wi-Fi. I think we were on like we were on like cellular Wi-Fi because the hotel Wi-Fi wasn't good. And yeah.
I remember we just kept doing bits and we'd laugh really hard and he'd be like, okay.
That was that was actually our first time recording anything, I think, in the same room.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's crazy. That was 2022 also?
Yeah. That's April 2022.
Time is crazy. Do you know how many we've done live? That'd have to be a number. We have to really probably get into that one. Huh?
I mean, the amount of times we've like traveled and like just stayed in the same room and did a pod or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We've done a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Those are always super fun because we always got some wild ass adventure to talk about. Wrestling weekends. That's why I consistently think about fucking Saudi and where they're going. And I'm like, they don't understand what these weeks represent, man. They're just like money and I'm with you, but like it's friendship, it's people you haven't seen in a long time, it's content, it's so many things that are just stripped away from us, you know?
Yeah, it's so isolated from like the wrestling community in the US, and that's why I keep saying even if you were going to do an international show, and doing it in London, for example, because there's such a big part of the wrestling community that's also in the UK. Like you've got so many people that do things like shout out to homie Sat. He's done the show a few times and he's in the UK. Like there's so many people that do wrestling content that are in the UK. There's so many people that watch wrestling that are in the UK. So it's a bit different. Like you're going to a place where it's seemingly no like internet wrestling fandom. Like there is, but it's not like connected in a way that it is here. And such an interesting choice. Watching the comedians go back and forth about this comedy fest. Like what Bill Burr said was crazy. Mark Maron came out and like railed against it. I've seen some other people criticizing it.
David Cross did a really long.
David Cross, I saw his as well. But yeah, all these people are making a lot of money, man. That's why I was like, this is just like that week when WrestleMania was announced and all of those things started happening at the same time, and it felt like Turkey was sitting somewhere flipping all of his cards over. Like, yeah, nah, I got an ace over here too. Like, bro, like to go from like the Saudi Mania announcement to the boxing stuff and all of the Riyadh season stuff around that fight that weekend, and then the flag football thing, the comedy special, and now this EA games thing. It's like, bro, they got their hands in almost every form of entertainment,
like
bro.
Yeah, it's like the Don Callis family. I got a new member of this.
How many people y'all need? How many people y'all need? Shout out to, I can't remember who did it last night, but somebody was like they should replicate the Nike commercial for all of those players at that Air Force base. Dun, 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 dun.
Bring them out, Don Callis. What's up? Bring them out. Bring them out. A good thing that you brought up Sat though, because it reminded me to shout out all of our guests that we've had over our time in these 4 years. That's something we constantly discuss. When Will left and we were like, what are we going to kind of do with this pod? Like, can we have a new permanent member? Are we going to have rotating guests? What's this going to be? And we were kind of like testing out theories immediately after. Bunch of friends helped us out along the way. Bunch of friends came on and joined us. I guess we figured out that the two of us works the easiest for us, and but we totally appreciate everyone.
Yeah, I don't know that there was a conversation we even had where it was like, well, you know what, the two of us is cool. I think we just started doing it. I think
exactly.
And I don't even think it was like we were worried that the two of us couldn't work. I think it was just sometimes just having a third person to bounce ideas off of, and it's still cool to have a guest sometimes. I keep saying I want to. There's certain people that we still haven't had on. I still want to get on
for sure. A bunch.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Sat is one of those guys. I've always liked his content other places. Really, really funny guy.
Great dude.
Just a naturally likable guy. So I knew when he did episodes with us, people would like it. And every time he comes back, people are like, when is Sat coming back? When is Sat coming back? Because he's just such a great guy, man. But shout out to him, man. Him and Tempest are launching their AEW post shows on Wrestle Purist.
Let's go.
They used to do them on Wrestle Talk, but Wrestle Talk stopped doing most of their AEW coverage. So they've moved their show to Wrestle Purist. Support those two guys, two of the homies. Tempest, super cool guy. I'll never forget being at All Out 2021 and Minoru Suzuki's music hits, and I'm just like, yeah. And I'm looking around like everybody else is like waiting for like Brian and Adam Cole and all these other people come out, and of course me, big New Japan guy, I'm like, Suzuki's here. And so I'm looking around like, and like Tempest is the only other person that's like yelling, and we're like looking at each other and like, yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tempest. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Wrestle Purist, man. They came up. They're doing their thing. They're announcing people are part of their brand now. Like anytime wrestling has been the old guard and people that have been around for so long. I'm so happy that new mediums are being created. new people are coming up in this space. I think it's great for the wrestling business, something that's been needed for a long time. Shout out to Sat, shout out to Tempest. I'm sure that show's going to be really dope. They got great chemistry together. They've been doing this.
Yeah, shout out to the homie Monty over there, other people over there. Last time I recorded something with Monty and Lyric, also friend of the show, also been a guest Lyric on the show. Homie Joe Hopper was on there, and I don't remember the last time we recorded anything. Probably that episode of Distraction we did with him and Jeremy.
Oh yeah, that was a long time. Was that before the official?
Before the first episode, I think.
Damn, that's a long time. Shout out to Joe. We saw Joe in Chicago, maybe, or something.
Yeah,
anytime we get to see, I'm tired of y'all. Anytime we get to see any of the homies, it's always great. Of course, we always got to shout out Cresta, who has joined us many and plenty of times on our pod, our wild friend. The only podcast you'll get a black woman doing her hair on the pod while talking about TNA wrestling. Like, that's how we do it over here.
Yeah, shout out to Cresta, of course. We've had so many guests. The homie Graham was just on recently.
Shout out to Graham.
It's my guy. Just seen him in Dallas.
You sure did.
I hate that we stayed in the scrum so long, because he texted me while we were in the scrum. He was like, "Where y'all at?" And I was like, "We're in the scrum." And then by the time we came out and went to Texas Live, he's already gone.
Oh, he was out there.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man. Yeah, we were in that scrum for a while. That's why scrum business. That's another story for another day. That also has been kind of a fun bit of Grapsody lore, is being in scrums and being like, "I'm Righteous Reg from the Grapsody Podcast." That time that, remember Cash, were you in the one where Cash gave it up to us? That was just Will? I
think it was Will. And were you in there?
I wasn't in there. No, I wasn't in there. But when Cash was like, "Oh yeah, Grapsody Podcast," and me and CM Punk, no big deal. Like, these things are all connected to the Grapsody Podcast. Max, me, you guys are not gonna give it up. Boo! Like, these are all a part of the Grapsody brand and lore.
Swerve winning the championship at Dynasty, and I'm sitting there getting ready to answer him a question. He was like, "Oh, I'm still mad at you," and the story behind that, which probably will never see the light of day. I was just like, "Why are you putting me on the spot?" And of course, everybody after that's like, "What'd you do? Why is he mad?" I was like, just a little disagreement. So
long story, but not super long.
No disagreement. Everything around that was fucking hella funny though. And I think if I told the story, not something I'll tell though. Pretty funny though.
Yes.
But yeah, that happened in Scrum. A lot of I think sometimes about doing the Scrum like right before the 5-year anniversary of All In, and I asked Tony like, "Hey, do you have plans to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of All In, because now that you guys own Ring of Honor, you own the rights to All In?" And Tony was looking around like, "How do you know that?" Like, we'll have something announced soon. And that announcement ended up, of course, being All in London.
Yep. How did you know?
Nah, I don't know. I just thought it'd be a good question at the time. Of course, being in the scrum after Brawl Out, sitting next to my friend at the time, and we're both looking around like, what's going on? Punk's up there ranting and yelling, and I'm sitting there with a microphone like, I gotta ask this guy a question. I don't know what I'm gonna ask him.
I remember sitting there watching the thing and being so confused, and I know both of my friends are there, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? And then I posted that clip of the security guy running out of there, and then my Twitter started blowing up afterwards. There was a lot going on that night.
Yeah. That's when I asked him about wrestling injured and rehabbing his foot, and that's how we got the Danhausen boot story. And I can tell at the time, funny enough, when he was ranting and raving, he gave me a charitable answer. And I was like, why did he do that? And I speculated for a long time about why he did that, and come to find out, he wrestled in that match hurt, and that's why he wasn't cleared to wrestle in that match, and that's why he answered that question that way. Which then turned into the mock stuff that we know from IG, and yeah, that was a lot happened in that time period. It's still kind of wild too that our podcast in its existence runs parallel with AEW's anniversary being around the same time as the anniversary of our show, and that's interesting in a lot of ways because of our fandom of AEW, the perception of us as well with people in AEW. But yeah, Cam, shout out to the homie Cam. He's been on the show. Always a treat when I see this guy in person.
We've had some adventures with Cam for sure already.
Or he'll message me something that he saw and I saw at the same time. I'm like, yeah, you know how your people are. What's going on? He messaged me recently when somebody was yelling at me on the timeline, and he was like, yeah, just don't want to see reason. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. He'll calm down eventually. I guess that guy calmed down. I don't know.
Guess we'll never know. The perception, the conversations that Cam and I have are so funny because he'd be acting like we're versions of each other. Like I'm AEW version of him in the Shield department. And I'm always like, you got this very fucked up Cameron Hawkins. Let me tell you what's going on here. But he don't ever believe me. So,
you say he thinks you picked a side?
I'm definitely saying that 1000%. That time this year at the WrestleMania night one at that pool and the things that were going on, the very, very good time at whatever that thing was. But yeah, Cam, we got to get him back on the pod, honestly.
Yeah, we haven't had Cam on since Will was on the pod.
Oh, damn.
That was like Christmas Eve we had him on. Because I remember we had him on, and then maybe a day or two later, that was when we made the Tony Khan announcement. That was all the same weekend.
One of our favorite episodes. Shout out to the captain also for
time. That's kind of the episode that a lot of people will say that's when they started watching, was the New Year's Day episode after the Big Swole situation.
People still bring that up, the Big Swole thing.
Yeah, at one point that was our highest viewed episode. Speaking of highest viewed episodes, my friend that I talk to almost every day will remind me that one of our highest viewed episodes, he came on and blessed us with his presence. Emilio Sparks, shout out to my guy, has been instrumental to so many things behind the scenes that people don't know about, whether it be just advice or just even when I started this YouTube channel, he was like, oh, you should do this, or he would look at stuff that I was posting and be like, oh, you should change this, or you should do that. Just small things. I mean, Rode microphones and just so many things that people don't know about, that behind the scenes, that's my guy. Which shout out to Rode microphones.
Definitely. Our podcast wouldn't be our podcast without the homie Emilio's help. Shout out to the homie Emilio, has given advice to everybody, helped everybody without asking for anything in returns. And our podcast would not sound like our podcast sounds without the benefit of Rode mics for 90% of our pod. It feels like we got them pretty early on in getting into this, and it has been great the entire time. So we're continuously shout out to Rode. Anytime somebody asks me about podcasting stuff, I'm like, yo, Rode, they did for us.
Yeah, shout out to Rode, provided us with our podcast mics, the mics that we used in Texas, and both the mics we used in Vegas as well in the room. Also, Rode microphones, wireless mics.
So when I got burned by the Hurt Syndicate, that was all. Those were on Rode microphones, right? Yeah.
Yep. The homie Najir, he did an episode early on with us. It's also my guy. He was there at he was there at Wale Mania.
He was
egging me on.
I knew when you ordered a tequila what type of time it was on. So
Terramana was in the system.
shout out to Naj.
Shout out to homie Najir. I just talked to him on the phone like a few days ago.
Oh man,
it's my guy.
doing some big things out there.
Yeah. Continues to do big things with Big Gold Belt. The homie Muscle Man Malcolm did one of our episodes as well after Will left. Very funny guy. Seeing that guy move around during WrestleMania weekend and just like that guy's a different level of famous, man. Standing next to that guy like him and the homie Wrestling Professor.
Ooh! At one point, we were standing next to both of those guys, and I was like, "Oh, we're nobodies, Phil. We are just losers in this thing." People walking up.
I like it that way.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly why. Because people will walk up to Malcolm and be like, 2 eggs, a hash brown, a waffle. I'm like, wait, what's going on right now? Hold on a minute. They're like giving up their Waffle House order because he's the Waffle House guy. And I'm like, I don't really know if I wanted that life. And the professor, they either come up singing or doing some like wrestling thing. Like he had all kind of different people going. I'm like, you guys are a different level of this wrestling shit. That's for sure. Great guys though.
Yeah. Shout out to him. Shout out to homie Drew. I don't know if he said that. He's my guy. I still say that he is the spiritual fourth member of this podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the stuff happening at Fightful before this podcast existed, that guy was doing a lot of like the work that I would see coming out of Fightful, like whether it be news articles, the stuff he was doing for his channel with the interviews. We gotta get Drew back on. I haven't talked to him in a minute.
That's a fact. We do need to do that. The reason I started caring about wrestling writers in the space were because of Andrew Thompson and Philip Lindsey. Like the reason that this podcast exists, like Andrew is like Phil said, like the fourth member. He's always been in here in spirit every single Grapsody episode because he's the reason for the season. I always was like, when I thought about doing a podcast, it was me, Phil, and Andrew. Things changed. We immediately got with Will, but like in my mind, he was always going to be the guy.
Remember we used to do those like episodes on your channel that we were recording on Skype?
Yes.
I don't know how many of you guys in here watched those. That was way before we started doing this podcast. Like that was
I should have known we were going to have long ass Grapsodies because those were like 2.5 hours and we'd just be like shooting the shit on. It was essentially Grapsody I think we talked about like the BW 500 and one, like it was the precursor to this.
Yeah, we would just like go on tangents. Yeah. Shout out to Drew, man.
Definitely.
Talk to that guy in a minute.
Homies. Yeah, good guy. We got to get him on.
Yeah, for sure. Man, we've had so many guests. I can't like. I'm trying to think of everybody we've had on the show. The homie Kaz, like Kaz came through. That was the week that we found out that Jay was possibly leaving AEW. He came and did that episode with us.
Oh, that's right. Because he knew.
That ain't what he told me. He said he didn't know nothing.
He knew. I could see it in his eyes.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You're all I ever wanted.
Oh man, yeah. Shout out to the homie Kaz. Has my friend Smiley has she been on our pod?
No.
She just always talking and helping with our pod. So shout out to my friend Tracy. Love her. Hope she's having a great day.
Yeah, nah. Kaz came through. Man, too many guests.
Didn't you do a thing recently with the heads of everybody? Or
the homie Brian H. Waters. That's my guy as well. Very, very nice guy. Very hardworking guy. Over at the Ringer. He came and did an episode with us. Jeff J did an episode early on with us when Will was still here. That was when Will was out in Cali and he recorded in his brother's closet.
Yep.
His brother made a cameo towards the end of the show.
That's right.
which I feel like is like Black History.
That is. I mean, like, who other pods got fucking David Washington on their show, man? Come on.
Yeah. The homie Vin came through for an episode.
Mhm.
Talked to Vin probably like almost every day. Very funny being in Vegas and watching WrestleMania, and then like Vin is calling me in the midst of watching WrestleMania.
That was this year, right?
Yeah.
That's when I went downstairs to smoke, and I saw Courtney. Funny enough, after that,
I didn't see him in Vegas. He was in Vegas.
he was in Vegas. One of the times.
Oh,
I
he
went
was on
down
the
to get
floor.
high.
That's right. The
Yeah,
camera.
Yeah. Right.
I forgot.
He got
Yeah.
an infamous shot. When I saw that, I'm like, of course, Courtney's down there doing this.
Yeah.
That
Now,
was a fool.
Orion, I feel kind of salty. We haven't had Mega Ran, and man, Mega Ran, like, when you guys did not the article, but the album,
Mhm.
Mega Ran was one of the guys that I interviewed about it for Bleacher Report. Super cool guy. I sat next to him at Royal Rumble, which is still weird. There's a video floating around on the internet of us all singing Cody Rhodes' theme song when he's coming out.
Is that the fire one?
The
Where
fire
the sign count of fire?
Oh no, that was St. Louis you're thinking of. That's the one I was with Will and I think Sean was sitting next to me. That was the night. That was funny enough. I was coming back to my seat and I had a Grapsody hoodie on, and somebody was like, "Hey, this is a great podcast," and I was like, "Yeah, I host it," and they were like, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. That's hella funny, man. Yeah, it's kind of crazy we haven't had Mega Ran. Now, shout out to Mega Ran. I feel like every space that we're like, he's always at Wale Mania, at the brunches, like anywhere we go, he's always there.
Yeah.
Most humble dude, super nice, always interacting with everybody, just like a real good spirit to have around. Shout out to Mega.
Yeah, shout out to Mega Ran.
Mhm.
DNA. Still
DNA?
wild that we did a DNA interview. Like, that's still one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not sure how that happened, but it's a thing that happened.
So we get some perks, our hip hop knowledge runs. Most of our podcasts focus on hip hop at some point. So to see DNA makes sense for us. I definitely would love to do some more hip hop interviews and add some more hip hop elements, because I feel like there aren't enough, even though I feel like sometimes when we're talking, people are probably like, damn, these fools are talking. I'm sure when the Kendrick and Drake shit going on, if you weren't super into hip hop, you probably were like, damn, these fools are talking about this shit again.
Yeah. There is a guest floating around, a rapper that I'm like, I think I can get it. And I feel like I just have to shoot my shot at this one. But
there's only one for me.
And one day I'm gonna I'm gonna make this attempt to get this guest. Should have happened by now.
Yes.
The homie Montezi, shout out to him. Low from the Wrestling Wind Down. She came on early on. Trying to think, Candace Cordelia.
Oh, shout out to Candace. Yes.
Yeah. The homie J Rose, shout out to him. My guy, shout out to X. X came through for the episode. Really funny guy. We gotta have X back on, man.
Definitely. Hella funny.
I met somebody here at a show, and they knew us because X came on the show, and they were like, "Yo, you had my homie X on the show." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, he's incredible. Still doing super funny content. We definitely got to have him back on the show as soon as possible. Also, shout out to Lo. She's doing some incredible content. If you guys like kind of streetwear with a woman's flavor put on it in the wrestling space, definitely check out Wrestling Wind Down.
Yeah. The homie Blue came through for an episode. I remember. The homie Julio, Heartbreak Julio, my guy, pulled up for an episode as well.
Yes, Dope pass. Shout out to Julio. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, Margie. SRS was on episode 200 a few weeks ago. He came on here and tried to expose the business a little bit.
You did. You definitely did. We know you have. We got to give it up to SRS. We've done it many times, but again, he's the one that was like, "Yes, I would love to have you guys feature on the podcast." He talked about it when he was here. He's always been amazing, great, funny dude. When we see him in person, he always shows love. Like SRS is the reason for the season. Got to have him back on, and not for just 5 seconds to announce that Andrade doesn't work for WWE anymore.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll do another episode with us. The episode he did in his car. Yeah. What a guy.
Shout out to the homie Chris Hero, who came on some episodes, talked to West Coast Pro with us, talked a little bit of AEW. Really good guy, man.
Yeah. I think Baron did an episode with us, right?
Yep, we did. Baron came on to talk a couple times about Battle Slam. Yeah. Kind of a sick lineup, what you keep going through.
Domi Blue came through. Did I say Blue already?
You said Blue, but shout him out again.
Sure. I'm just trying to think of everybody that's been on here just because I feel like the end of Food and Liquor. Shout out to Karen Quap. The homie Alex that had us on his pod before we were a thing as well. I compared it to being on Tim Westwood. The homie
we're talking about Alex's. I'm sorry, my friend Alex, the Queen of the Ring, has definitely been featured on our podcast. Love you, friend. You're the best. You're amazing.
Alex Bahas. I'm talking about Alex McCarthy though. Like two Alexes, two different Alexes.
Shout out to Alex McCarthy, man. It seems like those were like yesterday, and those were so long ago.
The homie the Johnny that came through for the episode, Johnny LaQuasta. Racking my brain.
A lot of people. Yes, I can't remember. I could be getting high.
A lot of people, man. I mean, all the people we've interviewed, Swerve, Jade. Is Jade our first interview?
I think so. That was a great interview. The big homie, of course.
I guess technically Sean Dean, because Sean Dean came on before that episode. He's on a spoiled episode.
Right.
But yeah, Jade, like I said, Baron Black, Swerve, Hobbs, Ruckus, who on Blue Sky was like, man, I want to do an interview with you again because you only asked me like one question. They didn't let you talk the whole interview. So yeah, we gotta have Ruckus back on.
Definitely.
The homie Jossie, that was one of my favorite early interviews we did. Jossie is just such a talent, man.
How still?
Yeah, he's just phenomenal talent. I can't believe he's not on TV somewhere. I remember seeing him at WrestleMania. He was doing some extra work. That was WrestleMania 39, I think.
Oh yeah, he was wasn't he in the Dom when Dom came out of the back of the police car? He was one of those guys.
Yeah.
Damn, I just had one on my brain when we were talking about Jossie.
Yeah, sorry guys. We do not have supers yet. I can hold on just a second. I can
no supers. We're working on it.
Can link you to our Streamlab. So if you hit that link, you can tip us through Streamlab. But no supers yet. We're still working on it. We're like a few away from the milestone to hit it. But still our first live. Eventually, we'll get to super chats for you guys. But if you do want to send us, it's not a humper because we're not on Fightful. We got to come up with our own
thing.
Send us a grab snack, Mike. Send us a grab snack. Send us a Grizzy.
Send 10 Grizzies immediately.
Send us a Grizzy via Streamlab if you want to send us a tip. But other interviews. Willow.
Ruby
Soho, Keith Lee,
Danny Garcia.
Dan Garcia, who immediately gave you shit since he came on.
1 second in. Athena, who made me answer a fucking math question as soon as I came on.
Athena, yeah. Kevin Knight,
Jet.
EJ and Duca.
Shout out to EJ.
Veda Scott came on for one. Red Velvet. Our friend Nyla.
Nyla, great one.
So funny, man. Seeing her in Vegas, always a treat.
Keith Lee, that's a good one. Tenriza.
Yeah, we did talk to Keith Lee. You said Speedball. Tekla. It's very funny. We have a clip of our interview from Tekla on our channel now, and I feel like it's like one of our most viewed shorts. We got to run the Tekla interview back at some point.
Definitely.
Now that she's stateside, she can talk about being stateside. That was very funny. During our interview the whole time, she's like, yeah, might have some plans, say no more.
She had some big plans, brother. The new Chris Statlander. I was thinking our last two ones have some very funny cultural impact on what went on. We interviewed Stat a few days later. She won the AEW World Championship. We interviewed Adam Cole a few days later. Shit, brother.
I think for me personally, the Adam Cole interview might be my favorite interview that we've done together. It's just the two of us.
Same.
Yeah. I mean, like the Athena interview was fun. Like most of the stuff we did in Dallas was a lot of fun.
Super fun.
The Adam Cole interview was like one of them ones where you could just tell how big a guy was, how big of a star a guy was in the midst of doing the interview. Yeah,
I just kept remembering moments and being like, damn, like they got Adam Cole fucked up. That's just what I left out of it with.
yeah, no, still a big fan. Hope he's doing well. It's just such a terrible situation. And he was just like in such good spirits when we talked about him. He's talking about how proud he was of his TNT title win. And you guys sent us some. We don't have a name. Somebody sent us two Grizzlies. 2 tips came through. We got one from Van Twinblade. Appreciate you, Boro. Says 3 things. One, where the meetup gonna be at Russell Dream, Phil. I've been here since day one. So many good times. Here's to 4 more. 3, put the Discord link on the screen. I don't have the Discord link in front of me. I have to go on my phone. But appreciate you, Van. Man, been supporting, like you said, from day one. Is instrumental in getting the Discord going. And man, can I say thanks enough for that? We also got one from Orion Ben. Orion is another guy that has been rocking with us since really early on. Is here every Saturday, man. Appreciate you so much. He says, congrats on 4 years. Here's to another 4. You may not realize how much you have been helping bring disparate wrestling communities together, but that your role in wrestling history now. Keep growing, gentlemen. Long live Grapsody. Thank you so much, man.
Dude, y'all are so dope. I hear those names. I feel like every single time we've done a podcast for the last 4 years, we've heard Van Twinblade or Ryan Ben. You guys are amazing. You guys keep this moving forward. Our podcast wouldn't exist without amazing guys like you. Thank you so much. You guys help with the Discord move along, keeping Grapsody kind of in the annals of this. I don't know what our place is going to be when it's all said and done, but you guys make it feel good, honestly.
Yeah.
I know how some people are going to think about us, Phil. That's for sure.
Hey, listen, man. Sometimes if this week has taught me anything with this Nikki thing, man, sometimes people need somebody to hate, bro, because goodness gracious.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Other people we've interviewed, shout out to Hurt Syndicate. Fun interview to do. Shout out to, of course, Tony Storm. Mark Briscoe.
Yep.
Hobbs. That's our second time talking to Hobbs.
Kyle Fletcher. That was a great interview.
Kyle Fletcher. Shout out to him.
Yep.
shout out to Brody. I talked to Brody in Vegas at WrestleCon.
You talked to what's the video where that's the one where AJ and LA Knight are fighting in the background, or that's Mello?
Oh no, that's Carmelo. That's Carmelo.
I was watching that video recently. I was like, this is so funny.
Yeah. Mello. I spoke to Mello that weekend. Dakota, EO Sky, Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton I spoke to this year at the after party.
Gronk.
Gronk. Bro, it's so funny, like the things like when you search our shorts right now, there's a Gronk, there's a Gronk clip on there.
I was just thinking that when we're standing at the red carpet and he's about to come, I'm like, Phil's about to talk to Gronk for some reason. Like that's you just have those surreal moments of like another like, what are we doing here? Moment was that?
Yeah, Gronk.
Gronk.
Yeah, I think that's everybody we've interviewed. Like, man, it wasn't for the podcast, but Zach in January, that's still like, like interviewing him ahead of Wrestle Kingdom as the champion, and like for months I've been like, I was like walking around saying, that guy's gonna be champion. He better be champion this year. And like getting to interview him going into Wrestle Kingdom, and like the New Japan account retweeting and stuff, like wow. Where are we?
Another Gabe for a moment. Gabe Kid, yeah.
Big Gabe Kid.
How could we forget?
Mina Shirakawa. That was our first Stardom interview.
Yep.
Remember being very excited about that because we hadn't talked to anybody from Stardom yet. And that was before she came stateside. She was still at Stardom at the time.
I feel like we're missing one, but maybe not. We went through a lot of them.
I know that there's one that I'm surprised we haven't gotten yet, and that's one that I'm gonna have to hound people for at some point. Why don't we have a Hikaru Shida interview, man? What's going on?
Seems like a bit at this point.
What's going on, man?
I mean, if we're every time I see new interviews, I'm like, but you know, I'm chilling. It's fine. I'm just talking. I'm just living. My pod is my pod. That's where I get all my things out at.
Yeah. That's definitely on the list of potential interviews. Definitely want to talk to Shida at some point. I know I've seen a bunch of people in our chat say Mercedes. Of course, Mercedes is an interview that I would like. Brian, I've seen some Brian interviews floating around, and I'm just like, hey man, where were we?
I like Brian Danielson just a little bit, some people would say.
Yeah. Brian's a big one.
I mean, Brian and Mercedes are mine from AEW for sure. We'll see. I've been kissing a lot of butt to get him. I can't get him still. I kissing all this butt and it doesn't do anything for me.
So all of these checks you're getting, they're not paying off, man.
Like, quit sending the checks and send the interviews.
Yeah, I like to interview Athena again. We interviewed her like 2 years ago.
Yep.
I think that was our first interview after Will left, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Samoa Joe for sure. Leonard, like Orange Cassidy is a big one for me as well. Hanger, I'd love to interview Hangman. Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Like, come on, send us the guy.
Come on, at least one of these top names. We're not chopped liver.
Yeah, I feel like we got a Swerve interview that's been in the ether that we haven't gotten again. Because we've interviewed him about 3 or 4 times now. We haven't talked to him. Surprisingly, we haven't talked to him since he won championship.
Oh shit, that's right. Damn, we got to get one of those.
Yeah, Big Stoke. At one point, I thought we were getting a Stokely interview, which is funny. There are some interviews that did not happen that were in the fire. I
I walked from wherever. I don't know what show that was. In Double or Nothing in Vegas. I walked from the arena to the Uber with Andreas Hale and Stokely Hathaway. And Stokely, usually that's when I'm like, hey, I remember being like, hey, you want to do this? And he was like, yeah, do this. We're good. And we that was another one. And we've had a few of these, Phil and I, where like the wrestler or somebody has been like, let's do it, book this shit. And then when we try to put it up the proper channels, it doesn't work out.
That is a joke that I could not get off in our Hurt Syndicate interview. Mm-hmm. The MVP interview was teed up multiple times when he was in WWE, and it just never happened. There are multiple stories about how I thought it was going to happen, and it just never happened. Dakota's another one. When she was at WWE, she wanted to do it, never ended up happening. Even though I talked to Mello and the during media day, that was what WrestleMania in Philly, that was 40.
Yep.
It's another guy wanted to do the pod. That was way back in Dallas. He wanted to do the pod.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in a room watching somebody else interview him. An interview that I helped with that and I was just like, oh, that's cool. But at the same time, like, he knew of our podcast at the time and wanted to do it.
Because I had interviewed him before he went to WWE.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw him when he was still North American champion. And we were talking about doing it then, and it just never came about. There are a few WWE interview guys that I know if it was just a matter of reaching out to the wrestler, I probably could have gotten by now. Yeah. Yeah. There are a few people over there that, of course, I would love to interview.
Like if it was that easy, like if you could just say, if wrestler says yeah and you got the interview, we'd have a couple of crazy interviews.
Yeah, there are certain people that for sure we would have had that interview by now.
Like I could get a Cody Rhodes interview. I'm talking crazy, but I could if it was that easy. If you didn't have to go through the proper channels, I could get a Cody Rhodes interview.
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. No, there's I feel like now that the heat has died down, I didn't want to be the first person to interview him right after he left AEW because I was like, oh, that's gonna be a one that might burn some bridges, get some doors closed for us.
A fact.
But now that things has kind of chilled out a little bit. I don't know, for me, Punk is still a dream interview, man. Now I would love to interview Jack Perry, Tenruzza. Like, that's another guy. I actually talked to Jack years ago. I almost feel like that was before this podcast existed. Yeah, it was. It was like 2020. I talked to him for Complex.
Oh.
Yep. That was the same article. I spoke to Sheeta.
Oh, right.
Nyla and a bunch of other people from over there.
That was before the pod. That's right.
Yep. Scorpio Sky I talked to that weekend too.
Because I remember that being a big deal. I was like, damn, Phil got a good one with that interview right there. That was hard.
But yeah, I would love to talk to Jack again. Like, shout out to Haley. I've seen a lot of quotes coming from that interview. I haven't read it in full, but a lot of quotes that have come in through there have been definitely interesting. That one where he talks about the 4 pillars and how he felt like it only benefited one person. I was like, who's he talking about?
Definitely wasn't the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people from like WWE especially that, they don't be giving out interviews willy-nilly, but there are a lot of people over there that I would love to still interview.
Like in the same vein as Cody, like I feel like I could get an E interview if it was that easy,
Yeah, there's an E story that I will not tell in this podcast. But
we could definitely get an E interview now that you just talked out loud and I just remembered.
Yeah.
Like if it was that easy, we could definitely get an E interview.
What a great guy. Brian Keefe. I feel like we had a Brian Keefe interview teed up and it didn't come to fruition.
We never did it?
No. Kofi, of course, Kofi is a legend. There are a few people in this space where if we interviewed them, I might like actually cry afterwards. Kofi Kingston's one of Kofi. I feel like is like a legend.
New Day would be like crazy as hell for us. The three of them would be like bucket list shit.
Yeah, yeah, Kofi for sure. Sorry, I'm ignoring you guys' tips. We got one from Shanika. 2 times for 2 times is 4. Yes. Sorry, 2 times 2 is 4. That 2 is 8. Quick math. Happy anniversary again, guys. Here's to many more. Appreciate you, Shanika. I think I saw Shanika in I think that was Royal Rumble weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Tampa, I think.
Shout out to Shanika.
Yeah, shout out to Shanika.
Day one supporter too, it feels like.
Yeah. We got one from Naomi Tenruza. Says, guys, congratulations. You have been and continue to be the best podcast every week. Some weeks twice. You keep being real and fun. Have cultivated the best community here. Thanks for the hip hop education. Love to Bill Birmingham. K.1. Yeah. I don't think anybody's gonna really fight you. There's that one guy in our chat that's a big Drake guy. That it feels like he'd be fighting the whole world on behalf of Drake. But shout out to him, man. We got one from Antonio Morales. He says, got here late, just wanted to show some love. Thanks for all the laughs here at Fightful and Denise's channel. Hopefully we get more 6-hour shows. Guys, why do y'all want these long ass shows, bro?
I feel like we did one 6-hour show and you guys just haven't forgot about it. It was an accident when we did it then, and we don't ever want to do it again. We don't want to do long podcasts, you guys. I don't know if you we want to like get to the point, get to where we need to go, and get up out of there.
Mikey V saying Kevin Knight is a big one. We interviewed Kevin Knight. I think Will was still on the show at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was like a few years ago. We haven't interviewed him since he signed with AEW. So I think we're kind of overdue. We see Kevin all the time. What a great guy, man. One of the nicest guys there is in this space. Every time I see him, he stops to say hello. Very Southern guy. You can tell, like,
the nicest. Yeah, he does have that Southern hospitality. We talked to him for a long time in Vegas this year. We talked to him for a long time in Texas this year. Every time we see him, we have like a long, real conversation.
Great guy. We got another one here from Humper Chats regular. First time Grizzy regular. I don't know if you can say a regular if they're the first time, but first time Grizzy. First time Grizzy subscriber or what have you, purveyor of Grizzies. Tony P. Happy anniversary, my guys. Thank you for the hard work you two do. So who you got in the lead for Petty of the Week of the before this weekend? I got Joe for being in his feelings last night. LOL. It's not Nikki.
I was like, there's only one answer.
It's not Nikki. I think
maybe
it's Nikki.
Say 2 if you also say Cardi, but like it's definitely Nikki.
But yeah, man, bro, cannot say thank you enough to Tony P. Every Saturday, this guy is a fixture in the Humper Chats, getting his takes off, sending us a ton of Humper Chats, man. Appreciate you so much, bro. It was nice to meet you in Dallas.
Yes. Putting names to faces is so great. So seeing Tony P in Vegas, or not in Vegas, in Dallas was awesome. I really appreciate you, Tony P. Always helping move our chats forward. Amazing.
Yeah. Appreciate you. Desi, we also saw in Dallas. Appreciate you.
That was fun times. When we got to the VIP and we saw Swerve and we saw.
What a night, man. Homie that saw my shoes and like spent like the next 20-30 minutes asking me about shoes.
There? I was standing there. He started asking me about he was like, what kind of shoes do you have? I'm like, I don't have on any cool shoes.
He was like, what's your favorite like Jordans? Like, what's your favorite? And I was just like humoring him. It was good conversations.
It was long.
But he was man, that guy was a fan of shoes. That was I saw Westside Gun that night with the Wakes on, and the Wakes weren't even out yet. Funny story. A friend of mine's had access to the raffle for those shoes, and he didn't know that they were going to be worth anything. And I was like, you should ask me. I know, like, because they're like they're collabs. But yeah, nah, the homie that was a sneakerhead that night, I can't remember his name. But shout out to him.
He had hella questions.
Yeah, Dallas was a lot of fun, man. I don't think I don't know about this Wrestle Dream meetup, man. I didn't even answer that question, but I don't know. It seems like I'll be in St. Louis. I assume, but I don't know, man.
That's coming up.
It is. It's in 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
October 18th. Yep. Yeah. I think that is all of our chats before I keep forgetting to refresh the page. It doesn't. No, homie had a lot of questions, bro, about
hella
shoes,
questions.
It was
like
really funny, man.
I feel like I walked away and came back like 20 minutes later. He still was like, and then what about? I was like, yo, this guy's still going on. That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to Dex. I see in the chat.
I'm tired of that, Dex.
I've seen Dex a few times here for New Japan shows. I think he's been at both the meetups for the homie Rich. I didn't shout out Rich. Shame on me. Rich. Rich was on the pod. I know people that have I've met in person or through the internet that said that they started listening to us because of Rich and those guys shouting us out. There was a guy that came to Windy City Riot, and I was standing outside. Did I tell you a story?
Mm-mm.
I was standing outside of Windy City Riot, texting somebody, and then I was like trying to get an Uber to catch a train because that was before they started doing Windy City Riot in the city. They did it at the Odeon, which the Odeon don't even exist anymore. It's closed. But they did it in the Odeon, and so I was trying to get an Uber just to the train station to get back into the city. And this guy was like, "Hey, are you Phil?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Where are you heading? You just trying to get to the train station?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, you want to ride?" I was like, "Sure." And he was like, "Yeah. I started listening to you guys because of Rich Latta."
Whoa! Wow!
Yeah.
Whoa! Okay. I was scared that you were gonna get murdered. I mean, you're here, but you know.
Yeah. Real
Rich.
cool guy. I cannot think of that guy's name. That was like fucking 4 years ago.
It's been a minute. Damn, time is crazy.
Yeah, but I remember he was here from DC or somewhere. He wasn't from Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And he just lucked out.
Yeah, but yeah, shout out to Rich. I saw Rich briefly in Dallas, and then he disappeared into a crowd, and I never saw him again.
Did I see him?
He's at Texas Live.
For a minute, it was kind of a disappearing act. I was actually just talking to Denise on her pod about in Vegas Andrade's disappearing act that he get, because I was like, he was fitted too, just like you saw him on Dynamite.
Clean,
but
bro.
then it was like Darkwing Duck, like he turned around and like he was gone, dude. Like
that bro was clean, bro.
I feel like he was walking through, like pointing there. He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" And then he was gone. Like you never saw him again.
He popped up and he was looking around. And I felt like I was the only person that saw him for a second. And then I went over there and like he like gave me a fist bump, and I turned around. He's gone. I was like, oh.
I saw that hat flapping in the wind. I'm like, no, Andrade up out of here. I knew he was leaving WWE that day. I was like, no, this nigga's lit, and he was lit ever since then. He ain't turned around.
Jacob, that's another guy from WWE that I would like to interview.
Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
I think about the interaction with Jacob pretty often since Vegas.
I think Jacob would do well on our pod.
Shout out to Chime though, man. By the way, shout out to Chime.
Chime.
Yeah, we got another one from Ten Ruza. He says, also still feel bad I haven't come through with grabbing you some drinks yet. Hopefully next year I will be doing that. Get over here to Melbourne. Also, shout out to Reg, fighting the good fight against the Fed. We love that attitude. No Saudi money in here. Yeah, some weeks I would be the sole person on the show, like, hey, this was all right. And everybody else will be like this garbage.
Get him out of here. We're done. Send the Sandman.
Release the Vegas stories. There's a very specific Vegas story that will never see the light of day as well. I was actually just talking to my brother about something. He mentioned something from Vegas, and I was just like, oh, I forgot about that.
Vegas was a time, brother. I'll tell you what.
Forgot all about that. Yeah, no, man. Appreciate you, Tim Ruza. You definitely got to get stateside. I know, man. Might have to get my coins together and head to the UK for All In.
That's a fact. I need to start getting my coins together right now. Are you going to Vegas?
I still haven't figured out if I want to go. Still tempting, man.
Yeah. Because even without the shenanigans, Vegas is still fun, you know?
Yeah.
So
I figured out. I think, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still a ways away.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not super planning on it at the moment, but things could change at any moment.
Yeah.
Because it's hot.
Because it's hot.
But I'm trying to go to London, though. For sure.
Because it's hot.
I'm trying to go to London for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I've been to London since like over 10 years. That was like 2011, 2012.
Damn. I ain't never been.
Yeah. London's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Lambert saying, shout out to Phil for that tag you found outside that looked like Reg that one time.
That is one of the best bits ever, honestly. Mm-hmm.
That was when our group chat was still on Twitter.
Oh,
I feel like our group chat has gone through like multiple iterations.
It has.
Like yeah.
Why do we? Oh, we just moved off Twitter because Twitter sucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are other well. Yeah. Yeah, there's multiple things that are probably lost in the Twitter group chat that probably don't need to see the light of day either.
That's a fact. Mm-hmm. That's erased, I think. You can't find that.
No, that's good. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I was saying, if Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble, would you go to Vegas? Yeah, I still think that there's a really good chance that Sami's going to win the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the year. They keep mentioning that he hasn't won a world championship, and that's got to be leading to something, right? I guess.
I wouldn't think they're going to keep saying this, but they also could keep saying this. But it feels like this would be the best time to do it, though, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I was there when Sami main evented at WrestleMania 40.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it would be cool to see him headline again against my guy, because I have to assume if he wins the Rumble, he's going to challenge Seth Rollins.
Right.
I like to see that.
I mean, you know me, big Sam Zayn fan, so I'm into it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think you're right, though, Sheldon. I think it's either Sami or Punk. The closer we get to this, the more I think it's a possibility that Punk can win.
Mm-hmm. Can't be Cody again.
Nah, a two-time Royal Rumble winner. Like, this guy's won everything at this point. Yeah, I think Punk's going to win, and I think there's a very strong chance we're getting Punk Cody at WrestleMania. They got to do it at this point because, I mean, they've been hinting at this thing for like 3 years at this point.
Right. They tease it at least once a year for the last 3 years.
Yeah. The women's side is a little bit harder for me to guess. So kind of up in the air. If I was just thinking about this because I did this article last night for Bleacher because I don't sleep. If any woman could realistically main event WrestleMania within the next 2 years, who do you think it could be?
I mean, Rhea has to be one of them, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I think Rhea's got a realistic chance of main eventing. I think you could potentially do Rhea versus Io as a main event. You could do Rhea versus Bianca as a main event.
Yeah. I mean, they still got that Rhea and Bianca thing looming, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Rhea for sure. I think it's a real good chance Rhea could win the Rumble again. If not this year, like even if she just wins the Elimination Chamber, something to get to Rhea heading into WrestleMania. And I feel like they're due another women's main event. I think it's crazy that women haven't headlined again since like Sasha and Mercedes at WrestleMania 37? Yeah. So yeah, I think Rhea's the one. Like Rhea's got the star power. She's recognizable outside of wrestling circles. People love this woman. Like the TikTok space around Rhea, I did not know this was a thing. Rhea on Instagram and all these other places, as we found out from Drake.
Yeah. She's grown a little bit beyond the wrestling bubble, and that means something. They have to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I think it's Rhea that's probably going to headline. If it's not this year, eventually. Somebody asked us a question that I just, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Tim Rose is saying, guys, any favorite AEW live show memories with Grapsody? Also, shout out to Cam Hawkins. Straight away, I think of probably Supercard of Honor, getting to see Briscoes versus FDR.
That's the one. That was where the three of us sat together. We're just watching this show, being fans. There isn't any crazy things going on. We're just like having a good time here. That's definitely the one that always immediately comes to mind.
You remember who we ended up sitting next to by the end of that night?
I don't.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, no.
It's a doozy. I'll tell you later.
It's a doozy.
I'll tell you later. Shout out to Tempest in chat, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one immediately springs to mind. Are there any other ones where like the three of us watched?
See, for me, seeing Punk win the championship in Vegas, that's when I thought it was coming home, and it never came home. Broke his foot a few days later. We didn't get a chance to actually have the run. I thought he was coming back to the United Center with that championship. He had the big match set up in place for Tanahashi. It seemed like that didn't happen.
Did not.
Yeah. Trying to think, the three of us. Where were we when we saw the sign in the crowd? That Double or Nothing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Going to Double or Nothing and seeing the Grapsody sign in the crowd, those wild.
Right.
Maybe that was Double or Nothing.
Was that? That was
I think so. I think because that wasn't that the same night we saw Cass.
Was it?
I think it was because
yeah, maybe you're right. Because I'm thinking it wasn't in Chicago, right?
No, I think it was Vegas.
Damn, the Grapsody sign.
Yeah, man. Appreciate shout out to people that were doing it, by the way.
Anybody that brought Grapsody merch, I always think about the guy in Texas with
that. Yeah,
man. Just like little moments like that make people feel good.
Yeah, listen, man. Appreciate anybody that has supported us and bought merch. I sometimes see our merch in the wild, and it's like, man, that's kind of crazy.
Wow.
Shout out to homie Tyson on Instagram. He be matching his fits up together with the Grapsody hat and shit. Like that shit is that shit is so funny to me, man. Shout out to him. He'll send me his music recommendations. I don't always get back to you right away, Tyson, but I do listen to it. I just be having a lot going on sometimes.
Yeah, appreciate you, Tyson.
But yeah, nah, the first hat we put out sold pretty well. That's this hat that I'm wearing here.
Mhm.
Still buy that on our big cartel, grapsody.bigcartel.com. Yeah, that was a getting that in the mail, getting our first hat in the mail. I was like, yo, this is pretty goddamn cool, man.
Mm-hmm. With our little logo on the front. No, it felt good. It felt like real, you know?
Yeah. So this hat, second hat we put out that Reg is wearing, also still on grapsody.bigcartel.com. I feel like this hat I see more people bought, but I feel like the dad hat I get more compliments on it.
Mm-hmm. Every time I wear this hat out, somebody's like, "That's a cool hat!" Like it never fails.
Yeah. I feel like because this hat is so nondescript, like because like when you see the Fear God hats and like some of the other hats, it feels like it's in the same design as that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's easy for me to slide by and people don't know it's our podcast. They just think it's just like a regular like fitted or a snapback.
Exactly.
Which was my idea for it. Yeah. But yeah, again, appreciate everybody that has bought our merch. See, we got a tip from Rafael Garcia. He says, not sure if the first one got lost, but in all seriousness, happy 4 years. Here's to many more. The Bears are actually 500 going into the bye week. Who'd have thought? Anyway, do you think we get Wrestle Dynasty again? If so, who would you have on it, buddy? If they would have lost that game on Sunday, man. I don't know how you let a guy come out there and throw 3 interceptions and still only win that game by 1 point. They had to block a field goal to win that game. If they would have lost that game, I'd have been like, bro, enough. That's been enough for me for the season. My dad was trying to get me to come watch that game. And because I'm always like running around over the weekends, I always get up too late for him sometimes to come and see it if the game is on at noon, or sometimes I'll be up at noon and I haven't been to bed yet, and so I'll be in bed and then I'll look around. It's like, oh yeah, the game was on. I missed it.
Up at noon is crazy.
Yeah. No, my hours are great. Oh, I'm sorry. I did miss this one, Rafael Garcia. He sent the one earlier that said, happy Graps Thursday, as Mike Tyson was saying. In all of the 4 years of Grapsody, what is the most surprising thing you've seen come to fruition? Why is it Reg being right with the destination of NWA going to hell? Happy 4 years. Here's to at least 4 more. That we were right about. I mean, this Andrade thing is pretty fucking crazy. Like,
this is
for me to be like, man, I'm ready for the guy to come back to the dub, and here we are. What, like 3 weeks later? He's no non-compete. They try to throw smut on my guy's name.
Off the gate, they like, hey, he did this, and he also did this, and then he did this too. That's crazy. Yeah, no, going from Phil being like, that'd be dope if Andrade came back, and then 5 minutes later, Sean Ross Sapp being like, he's coming back, and then he's fired, and then him coming back all in the span of a couple weeks.
Nah,
that's wrestling. That's pro wrestling.
Everything I wanted. He's back in time for the Continental Classic. Nah, man, run it back. We need Andrade in the Continental Classic, man.
You saw Dave's take?
I didn't.
Dave thinks it's a bad idea bringing Andrade back, pretty much.
What could possibly go wrong? It's just wrestling. Come on, man. Let's come on.
That's how I feel, man.
Come on, man. I'm for the chaos, bro.
It's just wrestling, dog.
I'm for the chaos, man. Let me know, guys, if I've missed your tip. I think I got all of them. But appreciate you for sending those to Raphael, bro.
Yeah. Y'all are dope.
Trying to think anything else that's come to fruition. I mean, don't get much crazier than this Andrade thing. There were some other things that I was like, that'd be kind of fun if that happened. And I looked around, I was like, oh.
No, it's just like, I think it'll be things like Phil was right about like 2 world championships not being the best idea for certain reasons. It's just stuff like that.
Oh, yep. Yeah, we got one from Tim Ruzi. Says, need some Credit Boys merch. It would be great to support people who aren't getting pictures with that DT Muppet. As an Aussie white guy, I don't know if I could rock Grapsody merch though. Also, gotta go big for the 5th anniversary. Dynamite 6, Grapsody 4. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. I have no idea what Credit Boys merch would look like. I'll try
That's
to come
the
up
only
with an
thing,
idea.
right?
I'll try to come up with an idea, but definitely not putting either of those guys' faces on our merch. I'm not trying to get no cease and desist from these guys.
0%. They can't wait.
Leave me alone.
Credit Boys.
But appreciate you, Tim Ruza. Yeah, you seen Brett come after dude with the shirts?
Oh, I did.
That was pretty funny. But that's also why I've never done that.
Everybody's a little bit at fault for these things. So
yeah. If you have not seen it, I'll put it back in the chat, guys. That is our Streamlabs link. We don't have our own URL, so technically unsanctioned humper chat. Send us an unsanctioned humper chat, a grizzy,
whatever you want to call it.
Let your boys hold something. For Vantu and Blaze says punk classic bands for Reg, the Cramps, the Kinks, Iggy Pop, Buzzcocks, the Damned, Husker Du, MC5.
I want to check out Husker Du. That's one of I haven't checked out actually.
I don't know if I can pin it in the live chat. I know I can pin it in on the comment section
of the video.
I don't know. I don't see a way to pin it in the live chat though. But yeah. I don't see the option to pin it in a live chat. I feel like I feel old trying to figure this out. I feel like those, how do you work this machine? I don't see that the option in here. I might have to go to Twitter to do it. I might not be able to do it through StreamYard. That might be what it is. But yeah. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody. I did not expect everybody to want to come through and send your boys tips. So
y'all are anytime y'all send anything or submit any kind of super chat or humper chat, it means so much. $1, $5, a quarter. Like, it's hard out here and you do not have to. It's so hard out here.
Yeah.
Wish it wasn't so hard out here.
Yeah. I don't see it on YouTube either. I know I can pin it to the actual comment section. I can't figure out how to do it in the live chat.
Lights out glizzy is insane.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know.
Find it in there.
I'll link it again, guys. My bad. Was not prepared on that one, and it was funny because when we started doing the live stream, I mentioned it to you like, I think we could just send our Streamlabs link.
Yep.
Still was not prepared. I haven't slept a lot today, guys. I'm sorry. I got maybe like 3 hours of sleep at like 11 this morning.
As you can hear, he don't be sleeping that much.
That was also a funny time period where I would like be on Spaces talking to people for like 12 hours and then would like lay in bed and roll over and look at the TV for a good 10 minutes and then get up and do this podcast.
I didn't know you would be talking for so long to come talk for some more.
Yeah, no, sometimes like I would be in Spaces for hours and then like come do this podcast. It's a different time.
Very different times when Spaces were a thing.
I was just telling Ibu that, man. Shout out to the homie Ibu. The success them guys are having over there with Self-Made. That's so cool to see from afar, man. But I was just telling Ibu before people even knew his name was Ibu, and he was just backup hangman, and he used to come into Spaces, and we used to talk all the time. Just how much things have changed, how much his account has grown.
Discovering that it's a black man under there.
I always knew he was black because I talked to him in Spaces. Like, there's no denying the fact that he was black when I talked to him all the time. And that's what was so funny at one point when he just had like the hangman Avi and people were trying to say, man, why are you on here dropping those kind of words? I'm like, because he's black. He's black. I don't know.
Those kind of
shout out
words.
to Dex. He sent this. Yeah, you can't say that word. I'm like, yeah, he's a dark-skinned guy from New York, guys. I knew that before. I knew that before it was like a known thing on the internet. And some people still think that that's like a fake picture or something. Mm-hmm. I've seen people like throw some weird allegations on you.
Makes sense. People are weird.
Yeah, AO is one of those accounts that I've seen wrestlers send me messages with his tweets in it, laughing at something he said.
That's what's funny about accounts like that. It's like, no, some wrestlers like this shit, the ones that y'all be mad at.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Ryan, if you talk to Ibu as long as I did before he got famous on us and he got like all the success he's got for Wrestle Purists and things, it's like, you guys didn't know this guy was black. But again, a lot of these people that are yelling at him, they don't know him. They don't know nothing about him. They're just like assuming shit. But yes, Dex sent us tip. He said, it's weird listening to the show when it's not Saturday. I'm cutting the grass, LOL. All-time pod moment. Cresta showing up in a bonnet. Now, that episode where Cresta showed up, who were we talking to? Was it Sat? And she showed up and popped in, and then she disappeared and never came back. And I was like, she could have stayed.
Never to be seen again. Yeah, no, that is an all-time moment, especially with the bond. I'm like, this pods don't be like this, you know?
Yeah. 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 Because we've been doing this for so long. There's so many different iterations of me on Twitter. I remember that time period where I completely shut everything down on Twitter. And I was just like, nope, I hate this place. I don't want to talk to these people. I'm out of here. And I was doing a podcast and not doing any Twitter.
Those were some times, man. I continuously go through those phases. That's why I only be tweeting at like 3 a.m. But then, like, every time someone finds it, I'm like, oh, yeah, this place stinks. Like, it's the worst place.
Remember when that guy got mad at you for saying that house shows were outdated? And then he started yelling at me because he was like, why won't you correct your boy? And I was like, because that ain't got shit to do with me. What are you talking about? Why aren't you going to tell him he's wrong? And I'm like, bro, it don't matter. Like, what do you mean?
That's definitely been the most annoying thing about this podcast. Is
like, I'm this guy, like, bro, what?
I've heard that about, they're like, why isn't Phil reprimanding him? Why doesn't Will reprimand him? Why doesn't SRS reprimand him? What is that Fightful doing? And I'm like, dog, no one can reprimand me. Nobody can stop me. It's me. Yeah,
let's get this guy out here. I kept trying to catch the chat before it scrolled all the way up. I got him. We have put Cherub we've compromised Cherub into a permanent end. He's out of this chat. Get this guy out of here. But yeah, no, people would do weird shit like that. Like they would, and I know people who have like, we can get into like people sending other people like our tweets or something and thinking that that person is going to get mad at us. Like I know people that have like tried to send wrestlers one of my tweets.
Yep.
and been like, "This your boy."
Yes, this is my boy. What do you want?
Yep.
What do you want? What do you think I'm going to tell them?
Oh, but man, there are so many crazy stories behind the scenes of people doing weird shit that I have never talked about anywhere, and I'm just like, what is wrong with people? Like, why are y'all like this?
What is wrong with people?
Wait, somebody tweeted SRS because y'all we were doing album reviews. I didn't see that.
That's real. That's amazing.
That is fucking hilarious. I did not know that happened.
That's so good.
Get these guys off of your channel doing this hippity hop stuff.
Talking about that rap bullshit. Get them out of here. I mean, I can see it, like we do be talking about hip hop a lot, but we have to. That's the only way that's going to survive,
I did not see that, Mikey V. That's fucking hilarious. But Sean has gotten multiple things about us that I don't think people understand. Like in the midst of all that Charlie Kirk weird shit, people were emailing Sean like he was gonna fire me because I said this guy wasn't a hero. So yeah.
I've gotten, hey, Reg, why did you this very important person said, why'd you say this? From SRS. I'm like, what?
That was the day I didn't know if our podcast would continue. We've had many close calls with this podcast being not a 4-year podcast.
That's a fact.
But I remember my laptop was not working, and I'm like sitting in a repair shop waiting for them to come back with my laptop. And Reg is calling me like, "You see this?" And I'm like, "What? Nah, what's going on?" He's like, "You don't see what's happening in the group chat?" I was like, "Nah, I wasn't. What's going on?" I'm like, "Not at home."
That was it. I was giving it all up. Turn these mics off. Turn this TV off. Turn all this shit off. Oh man, that was annoying.
Yeah,
that was so annoying.
Twine Mac said, I found y'all because of Will. I used to listen to Will's old podcast with them others from 2016 until Will left. I remember Will used to talk about you all the time when we first started Mac, and like how grateful he was that some people followed him from RBR here. And I think that's also one of the interesting things from like our first 2 years of like RBR listeners and like commingling with like the new listeners. I feel like now I don't know if we've hit like this balance of people that are specifically our listeners. I don't know. There's a very funny story of somebody coming up to me, and I was standing next to Will, and he was like, "Hey man, big fan of the podcast. Love what you and Reg do." And I don't think he had ever seen an episode with Will on it. And so and it's hard for me to like even process the idea that somebody might know of our podcast and only know of it as the two of us, but we've been doing it as the two of us for 2 years. So it's definitely a possibility. But yeah, I've done I did the episode of RBR with Will, and then that led to like the Saturday episode we did, which is kind of like part of the origin story of this podcast. But yeah, that was a funny night. I think that was in Chicago. It was at Wintrust.
I think that same type of deal happened when AEW had a show and Will was here, and somebody was like, "Oh, hey, Grapsody," and it was like, "Oh, it was like there are two different eras, like Anwar is describing, of the Will Washington era and like just Phil and I era of people not knowing." I always think every time the intro plays, I'm always like, does somebody watch this show and is like, where's that guy? He's never on this show. Every time I start this show, it starts with the three of them, but the two of them are just on here.
Yeah, I saw someone ask me a question that I would think people would know. There it is. Cocaine says, I don't know if Phil is a Cubs or a White Sox fan. I am a South Sider.
Southside. I
am a big Sox fan. I'm not one of those people that lives on the South Side, but is a Cubs fan. Like my brother. My brother, I call him my brother, but he's like my brother-in-law. But I've known him my entire life, so I call him my brother. And he's a big Cubs fan. And I don't understand why. Yeah, never been a Cubs fan. Big Sox fan. Of course, another team that miserable experience, terrible team for the last 2 years. But we'll always have 06.
Exactly.
Yeah, never been a Cubs fan. Cubs are in the playoffs. Won their first playoff game in like 8 years or something crazy like that the other day. Punk did the opening for that game with like the big W flags and everything. Yeah.
Shout out to Chicago. Y'all need something.
Yeah, Blackhawks are pretty good right now. Funny enough. But I'm telling you, I said it. I think I said it on pod before. I was here, but it's different. I was a kid when the Bulls were winning, so I didn't get a chance to like actually be in the city and be out and about and going to bars.
Right.
Them summers when the Hawks was winning, bro, it wasn't nothing like it, bro. Like the bars in the city, like the party in the city, it was different, bro. I've been a part of other celebrations of teams in the city, but nah, I wasn't old enough to be like active in the city when the Bulls were winning. But
now they be going up for hockey, huh?
Them summers when the Hawks were winning. There's one summer where we had the Crosstown Classic. If you guys don't know, the Crosstown Classic is an annual thing where the Sox play the Cubs. And the Sox, like, I refuse to call it guaranteed rate field. It's still Comiskey to me. I know it's going through U.S. Cellular, Guaranteed Rate, all these other corporations. It's still Comiskey to me. I'm old. But Comiskey is kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's like the expressway, and then you look off, and it's right there. Like, it's not like Wrigley, where Wrigley
you look off.
It's not like Wrigley where it's in the middle of like this bustling bar scene, and you can like bar crawl, and like there's so many cool things to do around Wrigley. And I really think that's a big part of why some people are Cubs fans, because they love the experience of being a Cubs fan and being around it. But I remember we had the Crosstown Classic, and like I said, my brother is a big Cubs fan, so we went to the Cubs game. And that was like the Hawks had just won. So we went to that game, and then we like went to a bunch of bars. That was the night my homie was with us, and he also had dreads. People thought he was T-Pain for some reason. But no, bro, okay. I don't think I've ever been drunker in Wrigleyville than that night, and like the Hawks winning Crosstown Classic. What a time, man.
Chicago was going crazy.
Bro.
That's your drunkest public experience. See, that's too much. Maybe. Like, California couldn't have all that goodness in one place. Somebody would have died.
But it's on the north side. The north side's different. Oh, it's different. I don't remember if we went on the north side that much when you were here. It's totally different than back here where I live on the south side. Totally different way of life. Now up there where Punker lives in Wicker and like Lincoln Park, different. Totally different.
Different kind of Chicago up there, huh?
Totally different. Yeah, no, definitely not a Cubs fan, guys. Sorry, Sox over here.
South Side, never forget. That's how you remember. Just think of South Side.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I can't even understand the experience of being a Cubs fan. Like, I just don't. Why would you want to be a Cubs fan?
Let the Cubs live.
Yeah, see, Molly said in our chat, Wrigley is the largest outdoor bar in the world, and sometimes baseball happens. I'm telling you, nobody goes to these games. Nobody goes to Cubs games to actually see the games. It's all a part of the experience of like being in Wrigleyville. Wrigleyville is a lot of fun. But it's yeah, can't say that I'd be going up there for baseball. I'm not a big baseball fan in general, though. Baseball is pretty boring, but it's always fun to go to a game because it's being there is different than watching on TV. I don't know how people watch regularly.
Right, definitely different when you experience it live. You can get the food, the drinks, the crowd, and all the things. On TV, you can't really get the vibes until it's playoffs, at least.
Yeah. Dex sent us another tip. He says, I still laugh at my reaction to playing the AEW game the first time and unexpectedly hearing Reg on the soundtrack. It was the pointing at the TV meme. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one cool thing that came from this pod was me getting on that soundtrack. Yeah. Shout out to Ruckus. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've done some cool things here with this podcast. What are you laughing at?
So, guys, back when we were still in a group chat on Twitter, there was an account, and he was for some reason really upset that Reg was on his soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
and he was just like, "I'm making sure to mute all of Reg's songs on this soundtrack," and we were all really confused about it because we were like, "Why is he so mad? Like, what's what's wrong with him? Like, I mean, all right, but so said person was blocked, and I thought it was over." And then he kept talking shit, and I was just like, "Why is he so upset?" Like, I don't have no problems with dude. I've never said anything negative about that guy. But he was upset. Seeing him in Dallas was interesting. Because again, I don't have a problem with the guy. But Tim in Dallas, and then Reg didn't know it was him, so Reg daps him up. And then after he walked away, I was like, "Yeah, you know, this your guy," and he was just like, "Nah, give me my dap back."
I still can't believe you. I still want my dap back. I still want my fucking dap back. Give me my dap back. I just thought this was some fool. Hey, what's up, nice? What's up, dude? No, give me my dap back. You've been talking all this shit online. Why would you dap me if you know if you're like I don't? That's what I don't understand. I'm like, you were the one talking shit about me. Why would you dap me up? You know who I am. I don't know who you are. Oh, I was so mad. Phil was like, "Oh yeah, that was homie." I'm like, "Homie, what do you mean?" Give me my fucking dap back. I want my dap back. I want my dap back. Give my dap back. I'm still mad about it.
I still don't know why he was like so mad in that time period.
Me neither. Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, what's the problem? Like, I ain't no beef over here. I don't
at all. I don't know.
What I can't get into all of them and like say names, but there are quite a few people that have like been upset at us over the years, or like sneak dissed us, or like throwing some subliminals or some shit at us, and I'm just like, what's this dude's problem? Like, what's going on?
Is it Fightful?
Oh no, there's some people that hated me for a long time, but I think Fightful made it worse. Like they were just like, he's over there too.
I know I got some BW 500 residuals for sure, but like the it went even crazier when we got on this platform.
Yeah.
The BW, this is the most I've not wanted to do the BW 500 this year, if I'm being honest with everybody.
People that were trying to throw us in the mix of the Swerve drama recently with the list, and I was just like, what they got to do with us? What they got to do with Reg or his list? Like, that had nothing to do with nothing. Like,
I had to keep being like, that's not me. They weren't talking about me, but nobody could.
Bro, JK, that's exactly
100% what I'm describing.
He was like, "No, give me my dap back.
Give me my fucking dap back. Rewind it back." That Jada Kids
clip. Oh my god!
Why would you dap me if you were talking about me though? That's what's weird about these people on the internet. If I don't like somebody, or if I'm feeling a type of way, I'm not gonna be like faking and go shake hands with them or whatever the fuck this is. Like, what is that?
Bro, that yeah, nah, bro. That was very funny. Reg didn't think it was as funny as I did. I thought it was fucking funny, bro. I was dying.
I didn't know.
There's been multiple times where I can tell either Reg or Will want me to be the last person to know, because they know I'm gonna laugh at it.
Yes.
Like that whole that flyer thing, God, was that funny?
I knew when everybody was going wild, I'm like, let me show this to fucking Phil. I don't want to show this to Phil, but let me show this to Phil. And then you go, wait, what is this? It's the first thing you say.
I think people be thinking like, and that's what's so funny when people are like, nah, he be over there wilding or he be mad. I don't think people understand how much I be like laughing at people behind closed doors. I'm like, oh, this is dumb. Like you're like really mad at that?
Mm-hmm. There's nothing. It's rare that you're like actually like pissed. Most of the time you're laughing about it.
Yeah. There were specific times, but yeah. There was a conversation that me and Will had in person, and he was very he was not happy about something, and I was just like, but wait a minute. Wait. And like I was like, you don't see how this is funny, and I kept like
couldn't find it, huh?
I think it's also like Will is so funny to me because Will, a big part of our dynamic that has gone away that I sometimes miss it is that Will be like dead serious in a moment, and I'll just be like, but wait a minute, you don't think this is funny? Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody enjoys messing with him as more than I do, and I think it's because like to me sometimes like he just feels like this unreal person. Like a lot of the stories that he tells, I'm like, that what? Like, or like even like just like his 6 degrees of separation. Like even when he was explaining like his brother, and I was just like, what? Yeah, so I think sometimes because I think it's an age difference thing too. I think sometimes I'm like, nah, this is really funny. And he'll just be like, and you know him, he'll be sitting there with the straight face. Like I'm like, no, this is fucking hilarious, bro. And I hate not being able to tell you certain things, guys, but there's certain stories that I was just like, but he does that all the time. You don't think
a bunch of them, a lot, a bunch of them, a lot, brother.
No, but nothing used to be funnier than our first year or so of messing with this guy. There would be bits where I would try to say something that I knew Reg would think would be funny, and Will would just be sitting there like, "Come on, guys!" It's just like
that is one dynamic that I miss. Like I love our 2-man podcast. We just go for it. We do a lot of funny bits. I laugh a lot, but like when we used to get into like light skin bits or like stuff with like I thought of "Don't Wake Me, I'm Dreaming" earlier before we got on this pod, and I laughed so hard. Like you can't get that moment in any other situation.
A friend of mine that's not a wrestling fan, just my guy, like one of my best friends. He was watching something on our channel, and he was just like, "Hey, what happened to that light skinned guy y'all used to podcast with?" And I was like, "Oh, Will?" And he was like, "He don't do the show no more?" I was like, "Nah, man, Will, he got a job on us, man."
Well deserved though. We love our friend, but you know, who doesn't want to clown their friend sometimes or get clowned?
Nah, man, and I think that's a big part of our dynamic. I think that's why it's also so funny that people thought that we legitimately did not like each other, because I'm like, no, I think sometimes it's just really fun to mess with him. I do think sometimes he would start talking, and then I would sit and let him like get his entire point out, and then I start talking, and then he start cutting me off. I'm like, well, let me finish my point. Like, like wait a minute.
There used to be some times where I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna let these guys do their thing.
Bro, he's called me sometime. He's called me a few times, and I've been like, dude, nah, I don't agree with that at all. And he keep like trying to plead this case. I'm like, nah, dog, I don't know.
I could imagine, because some of the group chats are extensive. I could imagine what the real conversations on the phone were like.
No, we've had like back and forth in person, and like that night we were at Collision and we were talking to stands, and I went out with a friend for drinks that night, and he was like, yeah, and Will said, and I was like, yeah, that's my guy though, man. Like I definitely think like there's been specific times where I can say something like because I'm like he be bugging sometimes, but no, you guys shut the fuck up though. Like that's my guy. Like
Yeah, you can't. It's like when somebody comes talking about your brother, and you're like, "No, this is my brother."
nah,
I can only say these things.
no, it's been specific people that, and I will say in making this podcast, even though I think that like we've all taken some really weird, I don't know, people just being really weird to us, but like some of the stuff I've seen people say about him and some of the energy directed at him, he's better than me because
That's a fact.
I wouldn't be standing for some of it. Some of the stuff I've seen, like very personal things people try to say about him or his family or, you know, his kid or something. It's like, nah, fuck all that.
Because we got different wrestling. Or you don't like the wrestling that I'm involved with? Nah.
No.
Let's fight.
No, but that's also why I think it's so funny that people thought we didn't get along because I don't know if people recognize like in the first 2 years I was very protective of that guy. Like, don't fucking like watch your fucking mouth talking about my guy.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Things were very different back then. What a different life.
Yeah. Yeah, you had homie tried to do a whole fucking rollout of homeboy coming on the show to talk about him. Damn, doing all that for 40 views is wild, bro.
Y'all, you don't see this? You don't see yourself? They don't see themselves.
Nasty work, bro. Doing all of that, having this guy do like a whole fucking basically series. You doing like AI images and shit, and still ain't nobody listening to your podcast. Damn,
that is cold world. Cold world.
They thought they was gonna get the beige mamba up out of here, bro.
They thought so.
Nah, man. Still mamba time out in these streets.
Dog. No integrity. Zero integrity.
Yeah.
Zero integrity.
Yeah. Them dudes on that show, when he went and bought the kid the foam finger, remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. He went and bought the kid a foam finger, and people tried to make that into a bad thing, and how he was like trying to get a job or sucking up to somebody over there. It's like, no, I think he was just trying to be a nice guy and a guy that's a dad that understood the situation.
Because that's what he would have did for his kid.
Yeah. And people was trying to make him out to be like this. I don't know. People were like making up these fucking weirdo theories about the guy after that.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, a lot of weirdos in this space, bro.
Too many. Too fucking many. Stay out of my mentions. People that need to stay on my mentions don't be on these shows, so it's fine.
Remember, dude was mad at me, so he started messaging you like, "Nah, when I see your boy," and it's just like, all right,
he's like, "No, Reg, I'm grown." I'm like, "All right, I hear you. He's pretty grown too. I don't think." He's an adult also.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I've seen a lot of people doing very weird things, especially with him, because like sometimes I'm like, this guy don't bother nobody
at all. He's just trying to talk about fucking wrestling and Sonic.
We need Denise on here.
Denise is too busy.
Yeah, I'm sure she's streaming something right now, right? Is TNA on? Or it starts in like an hour or 2 hours?
It's starting soon, yeah. And tonight is fucking Taylor Swift night. Nobody could talk to her. Taylor's dropping. It's over for you hoes.
It's over for you hoes.
She don't care about nothing. Taylor's dropping. That's all she care about.
No, Denise was in the chat earlier. I should have just sent her the link. I forgot. No, sorry.
Shout out to Denise. If she would have wanted it, she would have got it.
Bro, that sounds crazy. What?
The link.
She would have wanted it. She would have got it. That sounds crazy.
The link. All right.
Yeah, Denise has never been on our podcast. We've done multiple things on her channel. Your boy Will hosted that episode of Jeopardy where he was trying to cheat me the entire time because I was kicking your ass.
Wait, we never done a pod with just Denise?
No, she's never been on an episode of Grapsody. We've done multiple things on her channel. I think we've done like
games, watch-alongs, all kind of shit. I think most of it is because she has that fucking Saturday morning.
Yeah, she's got Busted Open
from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in California time.
No, there's people that I would like to have on, by the way, that have been like, oh, I'm working Saturday. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Denise using us for clout. Yeah, like the homie Iridian, I was trying to get Iridian on, but she usually has work on Saturday. It was somebody else that I have been meaning to try to get on here on Saturday, and they're usually at work.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that have told me that same thing. A couple of wrestlers that are like, I would do your show if it wasn't Saturday morning. I'm like, we could do it another time, and then some other shit happens. Fucking wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah. A wrestler that I will not name sent me a message once. I thought it was the funniest shit ever, bro. He's like, this was like in the midst of like Punk Watch 2021 or whatever, all of this like crazy punk stuff was happening. And they were like, hey man, y'all record yet? And I was like, no, we're about to record in about an hour. He was like, okay. I'm trying to see some black people talk about this punk thing.
We were those guys.
I was like, nah, we got you, big bro. About an hour.
That's it. Yeah. That's what Grapsody is.
Yeah, about an hour. There are wrestlers that I didn't realize that was a thing for, and I'll see them publicly, and I'll be like, "Hey, Phil," and they're like, "Yeah, I know who you are." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
They still be talking shit online, or blocked. I could be blocked by them too.
Yeah, we gotta get MJF on here. Like I said, the MJF interview has been like our white whale at this point.
Max.
I don't know that we told the story, but Max was supposed to be our guest in Vegas. So when we did Blue Wire, at one point there were talks for us to have MJF on that podcast as our guest, and it didn't happen. There were also talks for him to do another episode, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, we've been on the line like 3 times with MJF at this point.
Yeah, eventually we'll get a Max interview, but yeah.
They started adding us at one point. You guys better talk to him about this, and they're like, no, why?
Dog. That one account that's like, y'all gonna correct y'all favorite wrestler, and I'm like, well, since when has he been our favorite wrestler? I like the guy. I think he's incredibly talented.
Big fan. I don't think I need to be defending what he has to say.
But like, you want me to be, defend everything he does? No, I'm good.
I'm all right.
I like the guy as a television character. I like the guy as a wrestler, but I don't know this guy
at all.
No. But yeah, that one account was like, well, when are these black accounts going to say anything to their friend? Like, he's not my friend. He's a wrestler.
At these guys, what are you going to say? I'm like, what?
When are y'all gonna do something about your friend and say something about your friend? Like, that ain't my friend.
No, can't say that is. I'll be using these friends word very loosely, brother.
1,000%. People be throwing around that friend word way too loosely.
Like,
not just in that circumstance either. I'd be seeing people say that's my friend. I'd be like, you sure?
They don't ever be sure. Because that ain't your friend.
No, you just ain't found out yet.
That's it.
You see it? It's cool. Don't see any more tips. We've been here for 2 hours. I don't think I think we've exhausted our efforts. I'm very tired, guys. I have some other stuff to do tonight, and then we'll be back at it Saturday at noon.
Yes, sir.
On Fightful's YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys for pulling up. This was our very first live stream on our YouTube channel. There were a lot of people in here at one point. Cannot say thank you enough. Can I say thank you enough for the people that have supported us for 4 years, that continue to support us. Sometimes I think about like when we first announced it and we were putting out like our graphics that first week, and like just watching like the followers like shoot up before we put a single episode out, and like people were just like they wanted to support just off the strengths, man. Like that's just that's so cool, man. I appreciate you guys, man. I cannot say enough, man, how much I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that legit, just starting it off, Phil, they're announcing that we're going to be on this show, and the excitement that everybody had, knowing that we were going to be together, people making the predictions on what the show was. Like, I knew it was going to be lit off of that. It was like, oh, we just got to show up and have a good time. And we showed up, had a fucking good time, and it was exactly everything I had imagined. It's been amazing. Thank you, everybody who shows up every time we have a show, Saturdays, Thursdays. You show up when we have watch-alongs or whatever the things are. We're going to have more things on our YouTube channel. This was the inaugural. I've been trying to go live on this page for a while with some random things. So definitely check out more for that. Subscribe, tell your mom to subscribe, and we're definitely going to do more live stuff over here. I was saying we're going to definitely try to do more pay-per-view reviews over here. Still trying to decide if I want to do those live or like just like put pre-recorded reviews up, but we'll let you guys know. Yes, sir.
There's a lot of wrestling going on. There's a lot of wrestling to talk about, so stay tuned. Again, appreciate all of the support. Appreciate everybody that came through and sent us a grab snack. We're still working on it, name. Rizzy, whatever. We appreciate you guys, man.
A grab snack. We're still working on the name.
It's still a work in process. But appreciate everybody, man, that pulled up, man.
Shout out to y'all.
This has been I don't know, just our kind of technically Ask Grapsody. We didn't answer that many questions.
No.
We just kind of talked.
Talking about being around for 4 years. That's it. That's all.
But yeah, appreciate everybody, man. Again, we'll be back Saturday at noon Eastern. I think we've got Ask Grapsody next week, right? We didn't do it this week, but we're here, so we could have done.
We're here.
No, we're definitely not calling them G spots, my guy.
Yeah, no, I don't think we could do that. Yeah, no, I don't think that's.
I'm good. I'm good on that, Van. I think we
not G spots. That's probably not.
No.
Send 3 G spots. Send the G spot. Let me hit the G spot. No, I don't think so.
No, I'm good.
Hit us in the G spot. No, I don't think so.
But yeah, man, appreciate you guys. This has been Phil Lindsey, Righteous Reg. We're out of here.